Today, we're going to be talking about how to talk to your teen or child and why do they shut down when it comes to communication. So, as a mother, as a parent, you know that we are big on communication, especially when it comes to our children. So, why do your child shut down when it comes to communication? Well, first of all, survey has proven that 70% of children feel as though they misunderstood by parents. So when it comes down to the parent, it is already a challenge because the child already feel as though they misunderstood by their parent. So that's why it's so important as parents that we spend time in talking to our children about proper communication and to be able to talk to your child so you can be able to understand what they feeling and how they are feeling. So that is the number one challenge for parents. But there are also other factors in communication when it comes down to communicating to your children. And some of the things are this is that in today's society is that children are shaped more with the technology. Children have more emotional forms of communication, they feelings, they do more of the social media communication, they do the text messages, they already feel as though they're misunderstood by their parents, so they're already defensive, they feel as though they won't listen, that we know everything. And so some of the things that I remember is growing up is I was taught growing up from Ephesians chapter 6, it says, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with you and that you may live long on earth. So sometimes as parents, we can be so defensive and we think that we are right because we saying, children, you need to obey. You need to do what I say do. But as a parent, is that we have to also pull back and we have to listen and we have to be able to meet our child halfway and be able to be vulnerable to listen to what they are feeling, because a child communication style is totally different than how we used to communicate, right? So we don't want to push our child away. We want to bring our child to us. And so I had to learn, even with my own children, is for I would not get offended. There's times that I call my child and I felt as though they was too busy, or they used to say, mother, hurry up. What are you talking about? Make it quick. And instead of me getting my feelings hurt or feeling though my children didn't have time for me, is I had to realize that they're busy. They have lives. And it's not that they did not love me, but I had to understand as a mother is respect that they have a family, that they have things to do. And I could not get my feeling hurt. So when I called them, I had to make sure that I tell them exactly what they need. But some of the things that I had to do is I used to say, do you have time? Mama need to talk. So also I had to say, don't rush me, because when you rush me, it hurts me, it hurts my feeling. So I had to have that one-on-one conversation with my children to say, this is how I feel. Is when you rushing me, it makes me feel as though you're not listening to me or you didn't have time for me. And then it taught them is to slow down, listen to mom. But then also I had to realize that I need to respect them and ask them, do you have time to listen to me, so it can be a two-way conversation? So these are some of the things that I had to learn of how to communicate with my children so they wouldn't shut down as well as I wouldn't shut down. So that is a form of communication. And so also I had to realize is this, that even when it comes down to communication, is I want to establish that with my children is I want my children to be able to continue on communicating with each other. I am the mother, but as siblings, is I want each of you to be able to call each other. Do not go weeks and months without calling each other, because I want you to have that bond of communication communication among each other. I want you as a brother, as a sister, to call each other to say, hey, how are you doing? How are you feeling? If there's anything you need, that's conversational, right? And so these are some of the things that you have to develop with your own family, within your family, right? That's the foundation of communication, that once you build that communication with your children, then your children would build that communication with their children. And so these are some of the things that you have to develop within your own family. So I want you to be able to tell me, what are some of the ways that you communicate with your children, and how have you built that communication, right? And so I am so excited for you to share your family goals with me, as well as I have shared my family goals with you. Because one of the things that we want to do is, you want to provide a solid foundation of communication between you and your children, because you do not want to have them to shut down and feel as though there's no two-way communication between you and your children or within their family. God bless you. I look forward to hearing from you and listening to your response and to your comment.